We hear from about 1,500 transgender folks a year who have experienced some kind of discrimination or have a legal issue. And I would say about 25% of those are from folks who have experienced discrimination on the job. Ashely's case is not untypical in that at its very essence, it was a situation where she was forced to choose between her gender and her job.
This Transportation Security Administration...
Ashely Yang was hired by the TSA as a transportation screening officer, a job that is gender segregated. When the TSA found out Ashely was transgendered, they told her she would have to work as a man and comply with the male dress code, requiring her to cut her hair or wear a man's wig, use the men's bathroom, and pat down male passengers who were routinely sexually harassing her.
I feel female. I don't think anybody considers me male. Like, in what way? Like, I just have my hair tied up and everything, and the hormones have given me a very female kind of look. It was obviously people perceive me as female because that's who I am. They told me the only way to work, at Checkpoint for females is that I had to go through a complete transition. I'm like, how do you define a complete transition?
Ashely was ultimately terminated. She was terminated just a few days shy of her 2-year probationary period. And she was given a number of reasons for her termination, the majority of which were that she was continuing to express her female gender identity in the workplace, contrary to their policy that she would have to work as male.
The employment situation is really catastrophic for a lot of trans people right now. We have an unemployment rate that's twice the national average. There's something called recessionary discrimination, where when there's a recession and there are layoffs, the people who are most marginalized already in the workplace are the ones most likely to face additional scrutiny.
When the Transgender Law Center heard of the discrimination Ashely faced at the TSA, they brought a complaint on her behalf, arguing that Title VII protected her as a transgender federal employee. They went to a mediation with the TSA and were able to reach a financial settlement which included back pay and pain and suffering, as well as training for the TSA about transgender employees.
It was really quite easy to make the argument to the TSA that by not respecting Ashely's gender identity, that they were discriminating against her based on her sex, that Ashely lives her life as a woman, that she is absolutely a woman and should be treated as such in the workplace.
I see how important, job protection is. I mean, really knowing my rights and that, I should be able to work Checkpoint as who I am. I really want to change those policies. I really want to push forward in some way. Like use my story as a leverage for those before so that I could somehow help others in the future.
I think it's going to take a really cohesive movement of fair-minded people who understand that discrimination has no place in the United States. It has no place in our workforce. It takes laws that prohibit discrimination. It also takes public education, and it takes people knowing lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people, and developing relationships and understanding that someone's gender identity or sexual orientation has no bearing on their ability to do a good job at work.
A lot of us are working with the federal government and with the TSA to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. It still will happen for a while. Even with the president and all the officials on down trying to end discrimination in the federal government, it still relies on a lot of people being good people. And some people still need a little bit more education. And people like Ashely Yang, standing up for their rights, that helps with the education. That helps move it along.